And I'm gonna go back in time. Back to the 70s. The Atari 2600, specifically talking about the video game crash of 1983. Two games in particular that were heavily kind of connected to it. And that is E.T. for the Atari 2600 and Pac-Man. Now, I actually have copies of these games that I purchased whilst we were working in retail. So these are been in my collection since 2012-13. I think I paid 50 cents each. And I specifically picked up these two games for the reason that they were so instrumental in kind of the tipping point that caused the great video game crash in 1983. So for those who don't know, the Atari 2600 was the first kind of home console that allowed for third-party games to be plugged in. The Atari became kind of the first of its kind where it introduced the first third-party publisher. And what that led to was basically anyone could make a game. And anyone did make a game. What that led to was a reduction in quality control. And often it gets spoken about with E.T. and Pac-Man being kind of the tipping point of that. So I don't know if you know much about the story of E.T. The developer was given 5 weeks to make this game. Reportedly, they had made about 4 to 5 million cartridges. So they really expected this thing to sell. And it did sell. And it launched around Christmas, and kids of 1982 excited to get E.T. plugged this thing in. And it sucked. So what that led to was a lot of the games being returned and copies of the games not being sold because not everyone knew this game was bad. This led to the mass burial of these games. And it wasn't, a lot of people think it's just the mass burial of E.T., and it wasn't. There was other games buried there as well, including Pac-Man and a few other of those games that they mass produced that didn't sell. And it became like this story people would tell about this graveyard of E.T. cartridges out of Mexico.